Hello and welcome to this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup with Tharindu Amarasekara, the sound of profitability. The government of Sri Lanka has unveiled its National Digital Economy Strategy with the vision of having a Sri Lanka that is digitally empowered to have inclusion, innovation and sustainable growth. The strategy is set to be implemented through different phases up to 2030.
The strategy is to get high-level ownership by the President and Cabinet Committee with Parliamentary Committee oversight. A single empowered body under the Office of the President will be responsible for overseeing and guiding the implementation of the digital strategy. The government also has proposed a new digital government agency, DigiGov, tasked with development of the digital government blueprint and to implement the digital strategies.
6 bidders have shown interest towards acquiring the nation-state carrier Sri Lankan Airlines, and this includes some of the internationally acclaimed organizations such as Air Consulting. This is being carried out as a part of the overall plan of the government to be aligned with the IMF conditions of reducing the losses incurred by state-owned enterprises.
Air Consulting has submitted a request for qualification from potential investors for the acquisition of shares in Sri Lankan Airlines Limited. Fitz-Air, Sri Lanka's privately owned low-cost airline, has also submitted a RFQ for the acquisition of shares in Sri Lankan Airlines. The document also named Darshan Elite Investment Holdings Private Limited, Sherisha Technologies Private Limited, Treasure Republic Guardians Limited, and the local conglomerate Hales plc as the other bidders.
The Colombo Stock Exchange on Thursday showed massive gains where the all-share price index rose by more than 1.8% and the active S&P SL 20 rose by 2.8%. This has been one of the best growths the country has received since February 2022. The total turnover was touching 3 billion rupees and it was involving 142 million shares.
The banking sector experienced an upward momentum primarily due to the market expectation of reversal of provisions, with Commercial Bank, Pan Asia Bank, Sampath Bank and DFCC leading the charge. Moreover, Singer Sri Lanka, LOLC, John Keel's Holdings and Royal Ceramics also saw higher investor activity during the session. The market overall continued its optimistic course driven by positive investor sentiments, primarily in the banking sector.
With the visit of the President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, His Excellency Dr. Ibrahim Razi, to Sri Lanka for the opening of the Umayyad Multipurpose Project, 5 more MOUs were signed, further boosting the cooperation between the two nations.
Signed in the presence of President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the President of Iran, Dr. Ibrahim Raisi, the 5 agreements will cover cooperation between the two countries in the fields of film, media, tourism, cooperatives, libraries, cultural, scientific, technical and sports. These include the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation between National Library of Sri Lanka and the National Library and Archives of Iran, Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the Film Industry between the National Film Corporation of Sri Lanka and the Ministry of Cultural and Islamic Guidance of Iran. It also includes the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the field of media and tourism between Sri Lanka and Iran, along with the agreement on the program of cultural, scientific and technical cooperation, mass media, youth and sports between the two nations, and finally the Memorandum of Understanding between the National Cooperative Council of Sri Lanka and Iran Chamber of Cooperatives.
And now it's time for this week's corporate highlight. In news from the hospitality sector, Colombo welcomes ITC Ratnadeepa, a $500 million plus investment into the Sri Lankan economy, and this also boasts of Sri Lanka's very first sky bridge, Ahasa 1.
ITC's hotel group, one of India's leading luxury hotel chains, is reported to have invested close to INR 3,000 crore in the luxury Sri Lankan property, which is being set up under a subsidiary, Welcome Hotels Lanka. The luxury hotel ITC Ratnadeepa in Colombo reportedly features about 352 rooms. The project comprises of the Sapphire Residences and the super luxury hotel ITC Ratnadeepa. Complementing the luxury lifestyle, the over 40,000 square feet of premium amenities, including the exclusive private residence club, swimming pools, private cinema, and many other facilities.
And here's Amrita with this week's international news highlight.
In international news, the USA will ban TikTok unless it is sold due to data privacy concerns. President Biden on Wednesday signed a law that would ban Chinese-owned TikTok unless it is sold within a year. It is the most serious threat yet to the video streaming app's future in the US, intensifying America's tech war with China. Despite concerns in Washington, TikTok has soared. It has become the trendsetter in the world of short-form video and is used by 170 million Americans, which is about half of the country.
And that's it for this week's LOLC Securities Weekly Market Roundup. No matter what industry you may be in, make the investment decisions with the right intel. I'll see you next week.